Yo, what is up, Sinners? Infinite Sin here with another reaction. We are doing a late night reaction, so excuse the mic, you know how it goes. When everybody's asleep, I gotta be a little bit quieter. I'm gonna try to keep the energy up for you guys, but I slept all day because the neighbors were partying all day, so I couldn't record. Therefore, I'm doing all my recording tonight. And I don't know how long I'll be up, but I'm gonna try to get as much done as I can. So, you may have noticed a little something. I know. Got my eyebrows done, they look crazy good, right? Today's Request Monday. We are fulfilling out the Patreon requests first because it's just how I roll. You know, we got a lot of winners that we got to fulfill their Patreon requests first, and we are going to be doing outro tier today. This is Taylor's request. If you don't know how requests work, what you do is you drop a request in the comment section. I put it in a bucket. If I draw yours, I do it that day, right? And it only happens on Mondays unless, you know, something comes up or I see something a little extra. But right now, I'm trying to fulfill all my Patreon requests. We had a lot of winners this last drawing due to my lack of holding lives and drawings, but we will be having one this Wednesday, so y'all be there. And today's request is Taylor's request. Now, Taylor specifically requested that I watch this reaction in a certain order with certain videos and told me that they were all necessary in order for me to understand the greatness of this song. This is a highly requested song, so I'm kind of expecting wonderful, wonderful things. So we're going to watch all three of these videos, and then we're going to do the reaction this way. So this doesn't happen all the time. Hi, if you're new, I'm Infinite Sin. I'm a BTS reactor. What I normally do is I will listen to a song, react to the way that it sounds, tell you what I think about it, what I think it's about. We go through the lyrics, analyze it, understand the deeper meaning of the song and what it actually is about. And afterwards, when all the work is done, we go watch a live or a dance choreography or something special attached to it to give us that little and take us full circle, because I feel like we deserve that as viewers and fans. So we want to get it all, right? We want to pull it in. So come with me on this journey. If you like what you see, please hit all the buttons, check out all the links, drop me a comment telling me what you think, and educate me on the things that I don't know about, because that's why I'm here. Here to learn, here to understand, here to be a fan. With all the riffraff out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is, what is this? This is the Acceptance Speech Artist of the Year from MMA in HK 2018. As I said, the only reason I'm watching this is because this is the order. These are the videos I was given, and this is the order I was told to watch them in. So let's get this bread.
BTS!
So loud, holy crap. I mean, everybody's happy for him, dude. That's awesome. They're still going crazy. Y'all hear that? They're still going crazy. I mean, even the host knows it. Look at him. He's excited to meet him. They're all being very polite. I like it. The intensity, dude.
아미.
Oh, he's nervous. Look at the trophy shaking.
올라오기 전에 걱정을 많이 했어요. 여러분들에게 항상 최고의 모습을 보여드리고 싶고 실수하지 않는 모습을 보여드리고 싶기 때문에 항상 매번 무대를 올라오기 전에 심장을 졸이면서 정말 무대 준비를
Don't cry, bro. You got it.
정말 이 상이
Wow, dude. Listen to him. The love. Don't do it. You got it, dude.
아 진짜 저는 이 상을 받아도 울었을 거고 안 받아도 울었을 것 같아요. 올해는
Man.
너무 많은 고생을 했기 때문에 그리고 여러분들에게 너무 많은 사랑을 받았기 때문에 꼭 보답을 해드리고 싶었어요. 정말 감사드리고 지금 이 순간 같이 있는 우리 멤버들에게 너무 고맙다라는 말을 해주고 싶어요.
Look at Jimin giving the love.
아멘! 감사합니다. 저희가 올해를 보내오면서 조금 힘든 일들도 있을 수도 있잖아요. 저희가 그런 일들을 겪어오면서 저희끼리 모여서 얘기하면서 뒤돌아보는 시간들이 좀 있었던 것 같아요.
Everybody's crying.
정말 우리 뒤에 우리 옆에 많은 사람들이 있구나. 언제 이렇게 많은 사람들이 우리 옆에 있었을까 이런 생각을 하게 되었던 것 같아요. 그런 생각을 하면서 저희가 조금 더 힘들더라도 항상 힘낼 수 있고 행복하다는 생각을 할 수 있었던 것 같아요. 그런 여러분들께 진심으로 감사하다는 얘기 꼭 전해드리고 싶었습니다. 그리고 정말로 이 상을 이 자리에서 다시 받고 싶었어요. 항상 얘기했듯이 여러분들이 저희를 자랑스러워하는 그 자부심은 곧 저희의 자부심이기 때문입니다. 그래서 내년은 더 좋은 모습 보여드리고
Every year they promise something better and they deliver.
보답하겠습니다. 감사합니다. 사랑합니다.
네.
Look at all red Tay, bro. Even RM said it.
저희 멤버들의 아버지 어머니 정말 키워주셔서 감사합니다. 이 상 저희가
Don't do it, Tay. Don't.
받을 수 있는 게 정말 믿기지 않고 이상 부끄럽지 않게 정말 열심히 하는 가수가 되겠습니다. 그리고 연말마다 이렇게 정말 좋은 상 주시는데 정말 제가 다시 죽었다 깨어나도 아미분들이 저에게는 정말 값진 선물인 것 같습니다. 정말 감사합니다.
Look at how hard Yumi's holding back.
감사합니다.
Oh god, this is gonna be tough.
감사합니다, 여러분들. 이렇게 올해의 아티스트랑 받게 돼서 너무너무 기쁘고요.
네, 항상 저희 지켜봐 주시는 아미 여러분들, 아미 여러분들 주인상을 생각하고 더 열심히 하겠습니다. 또 저희 이 형제를 낳아주신 우리 가족에게 감사하다는 말씀 드리고 싶고요.
Good, good.
2018년 정말 살면서 이렇게 기쁠 수가 있는 해인가랄 만큼 기뻤는데 2019년은 더 멋있고 더 기쁜 한 해 만들도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Alright, Jin. Oh, he's already shaking.
되게 올해 초가 생각이 나는데요. 올해 초에 저희가 되게 심적으로 많이 힘들었었어요. 그래서 저희끼리 얘기를 하면서 해체를 할까 말까 고민도 했고
Why?
다시 마음을 정말 다잡고
Oh god, look at Tay.
이렇게 좋은 성적을 낼 수 있게 돼서 너무 다행이라고 생각하고 다시 마음 다잡아준 우리 멤버들에게 너무 고맙고 저희 항상 사랑해주시는 멤버들에게 너무 감사하다고 사랑해주는 아미들에게 너무 감사하다고 얘기하고 싶습니다. 감사합니다.
I like how they're not playing them off stage. You got it, Tay. Tay, why you gotta do this to me? Okay, I held it together. That was tough. So this isn't the song, but I was requested to watch this to understand the emotional aspects of outro tier, because apparently the song is kind of about, I guess, supposed to be about their struggles, and this illustrates it in a visual sense. And I guess kind of, if I think about it, kind of gives me, because I haven't seen their hardships video, but I will be watching that very soon. I already knew that they had gone through a lot, and I've seen a lot of anti stuff on the internet, and more than enough on Twitter to understand that there are some very rude and ugly people out there, and they do, you know, they do and say horrible things in regards to this. And I don't think anyone should be a bully to anyone, but especially these guys. They do work hard, and they do put in the time. It's something that I respect and I extremely admire, because it's like, I think we can all understand it to some degree, that anything worth doing, it's worth doing and putting your all in. And BTS is a wonderful example of that kind of character. So, now that we've gotten through this part, I'm hoping the next part won't be so hard. We're going to jump into the regular part of this reaction, where we listen to the song, break it down, check out the live. So, join me on the next part. I'll see you in just a minute. Alright, let me gather myself a little bit. That was, this is why I haven't watched a lot of award shows, because I have moments where I can relate deeply to people, and their emotions trigger my emotions, and I'm not one that likes to be tearful and sorrowful. Now, Discord is always trying to make me cry in a good way, but please don't misuse that information, I beg of you. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to the song. This is outro tier. See what we think about the way it sounds. Kind of cryptic. This sounds like the music that was playing in their Wings tour. In one of the VCRs. It is. What a tone change. God, this is fast. Is that Yoongi on the background vocals? Oh no, he doubled over. Okay. Ooh, auto-tune.
꿈이 되어 내 심장이 찢겨져 차라리 불태워줘 고통과 미련 그 무엇도 남지 않겠군 조마트 조마트 You're my tear You're my tear You're my fear You're my fear What more can I say You're my
Oh, I thought that was the end, dude. I was like, no.
이별은 내게 TAR 눈물 따위는 사치니까 아름다운 이별 따위는
Is this Yoongi?
없을 테니 이제 시작해
This auto-tune throwing me off.
천천히 심장을 돌려줘
It is, okay.
조각이 나버린 파편 밀어치러 밟아줘 매일은 그딴 게 더는 남지 않게 갈기갈기 찢어 밝혀버린 내 심장을 싹 불태워줘 옳지 그래 거기야 뭘 망설이니 네가 원하는 그 결말이니 망설임 없이 어서 죽여 Yeah yeah put it Yeah 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 put it Yeah 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 put it 타버린 채마저 남지 않게 이게 진짜 너고 이게 진짜 나야 이젠 끝을 밟고 원망도
Sorry, there's a production trick there. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Oh, that was impressive.
이게 진짜 나야 같은 곳을 향해 걸어서는데 이것이 우리의 마지막이 돼 영원히 말하던 우리였는데
The dynamic of this song.
같이 꿈을 꿨다 생각했는데 그 꿈은 비로소 꿈이 되어 내 심장이 찢겨져 차라리 불태워줘 고통과 미련 그 무엇도 남지 않겠군 조마트 You're my tear You're my tear You're my fear You're my fear
So many moods in this song. They're gonna end that song that way. They got to. They got to.
왜 흘리는지 왜 찢어버리는지 소용없어 내게 누이 이별은 내게 그 순간 내 부어 네 입에서 말을 하는 순간 우리의 초점이 무규칙해지는 순간 모든 게 위험한 순간에 두 글자가 준 우리의 끝 아는 끝 한 찢을 끝 그런 말을 못한다고 앞으로 나도 이별 붙이 뿅넌 내 시작과 끝에 네 스타일 나의 만나고 나의 이별 전부여서 앞으로가 freer 반복될 거야 너로 인해 태어
Ugh, I was wrong. I was so wrong. I thought that song was gonna end with that little like static noise, bro. So there's a specific part in here. I just want to discuss it real quick. I have to find it though, so this will be a jump cut section. So just give me a sec. All right, so let me give you my review first. I absolutely think this song is something on another level, which fits the tone for everything that you guys have said about it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was expecting like a musical line, like the entire group, and this to be like some kind of intense ballad or like theatrical ballad, and it's not, and it's complete spin for me because like it defied my expectations. Does that make sense? I like the way it sounds. I am completely going in every direction because it just has so many aspects to it. So you got the theatrical music behind it, you got the auto-tune, you got the hip-hop, it's rap line, right? It's just going every which way. And the vibe I'm getting from the song, it seems like if I had to pinpoint anything, it kind of like feels like there were a lot of struggles. There was a lot of like hate and maybe doubtfulness in their abilities, and kind of glad that they didn't listen to the negative and stayed with the positive because of where they are now. That's kind of the vibe I'm catching. And it would fit the music too, with the theatrical thing being the doubtful sadness, the auto-tune being the new innovativeness style that they bring in with their music, and then like the hip-hop being their normal style. So mixing those two together, brought in with the sounds going in every which direction, could be like symbolic of like all everyone bringing in their own personalities. So basically BTS being BTS, defying the doubtfulness, not just the doubtfulness, the haters, etc., etc. But that's the vibe I'm catching. I may be off. Forgive me if I am. I mean, it happens, right? But so far, so good. I really like this song. And the thing that I got really excited about earlier is actually production technique that I haven't heard them use too much. They pretty much utilize their compressor to scream into the mic, then it dumbs it down. So production wise, I know some of you are production people. I know some of you watch production. People do reactions to BTS, so you've probably heard this before. But if you haven't, using a compressor dumbs down the volume of a loud spike or moment. So like when people scream into their mics and you hear a compressor and it tones it down, right? So they're screaming their lungs off, but they sound like I'm talking to you, right? Like the volume is like I'm talking to you. It's called using a compressor. When you don't use a compressor, it sounds all fuzzy and like hurts your ears, right? So what they did is they didn't use the compressor to record the part, right? And then they took it and post edit, and they used the compressor to equalize the volume. At least that's what I'm thinking. It could just be normalization. And normalization is just making all parts like smoothly transition into the next part, right? So, but I think that's the process they used. I'd have to actually watch it behind the scenes, but this is the part I'm talking about right here.
yeah, put it. Yeah, put it. Yeah, put it.
Right? So he's screaming and it's fuzzing and it's going crazy and he's got the auto-tune cranking and stuff, right? But like, it doesn't hurt your ears because they fixed the volume, right? And leveled it out. So that could be what it is. I'm not, like I said, I don't do this for a living, but I have a little bit of experience with it. I use it on my recording program. So, if any of you know the actual process or if I'm close, please fill me in. So far, so good. I like what I hear. You guys know what I think. I'm going to move on to the lyric translation. We're going to figure this out. And, I can't wait to see what this is about. I hope I'm close. I really do. See you in just a sec. Welcome back to the lyrics, you guys. We are here with outro tier. If you're just joining us, it's been a ride so far. I haven't really figured out what the song's about. Let me fix the mic. There we go. I haven't really figured out what the song's about, but we're doing our best. And so far, so good. We like everything we hear. It's definitely a different flow. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into this and figure out what this song is about. At the end of this, I will read what the song is actually about. In regards to, just for those of you who are new, I'm going to try that this time around and see how you guys enjoy it, see how I enjoy it. And if we got close, I'd like to see if I got close after the fact. So for those of you who are new, I use dual set for my lyric translations with a color coded on the side just so I can keep track of where I am in the song. And I'm going to need it in this one because I tend to get lost in songs that move very, very quickly. Not because I can't understand what's happening, but because I can't keep up with what's happening. What we'll do today is we'll listen to a little bit, stop, read the lyrics, so forth and so on until we get to the end of the song, just like every other day. Only we're not going to be doing a verse, chorus, verse. We're just going to segment. Okay? So be a little more pausing than normal. Hope you guys don't mind. But I want to make sure I soak this whole thing in. Alright, dual set. We're going to read your preemptive text and then we're going to go on to the song. So this is outro tier. It is produced by Doc Skim, written by Doc Skim, Shin Myung Soo, Suga RM, and J Hope. You find it on Spotify and Apple Music. The notes say the lyrics have both tear as in crying and tear as in ripping apart tear as in ripping apart to be rhymed with fear. In episode 6 of Break the Silence, Suga shared the lyrics for Tear were written for the members. When I was writing the melody at the time, we were deeply contemplating whether we should quit or not. And when I played the song for the members, we all cried together. See, that brings the intro that we did into this. So that's a little bit of connectivity there. I guess if I watch Break the Silence, I'm gonna have to do it off screen because I think you gotta pay for it. But it would be something to invest in. Maybe something to do with Discord. We can figure that out. Alright, so let's give it a listen through. Like I said, we'll stop as I feel necessary. So let's just see if we can keep up. I love the intro. Very theatrical. I'm familiar with the theatrical part of the song too, so that helps.
이별은 negative 나도 모르게 내 눈가 위에 피어 세뇌배치 못한 얘기들이 흐르고 미련이 날 얼굴 위를 길 내게 넌 한때는 ideal 하지만 이제 쓰기만 한 bill 때늦은 자기 혐오로 얼룩지 심장을 스치는 저 바람에도 bill 이별은 거짓뿐이던 나 연극 끝에 오고야 말았던 나의 때가 누군가 시간을 되돌려준다면 어쩜 내가 좀 더 솔직할 수 있었을까 나만 아는 알금의 얼굴도 추억 초라한 내 안에 오랜 버튼도 나를 보던 그 미소로 여전히 넌 나를 그렇게 또 사랑해줄 수 있었을까 영원 같은
Okay. Okay. Like you did looking at me with that smile. Let's find that spot. Okay, like you did looking at me right here. Okay, so this we're gonna go ahead and highlight it so we know where we're starting next. Okay, so the first part of a song is that little like almost like faded like indiscernible echo in the background, and that's not even listed on the lyrics. I guess we'll never know. It's kind of like the babble of the everyday life, right? He said, goodbye to me is tear. Even without my noticing, it comes into bloom around my eyes. Okay, so it's like just, you know, saying goodbye is like it's terrible, it's a horrible thing, emotionally it sucks. With the added context of them talking about how this might be the end, it's almost like it kind of came out of left field, right? Even without my let's see, words that I couldn't let out now flow. The lingering love crawls on my face. For a time you were my dear. So let's stop right there. So words that I couldn't let out now flow. The lingering love crawls on my face. You know when it's like, I hate to use this example, but when someone's threatening to leave you or says they've had enough, and then like all these things you kept in for so long come crawling out, and like they're brought to light because like you've held them in for so long, and now you're about to lose the one thing that's most precious to you, and you say and do everything you felt and feel and have wanted to say. It all happens at once because you're trying to save something that you didn't realize you cared about so much, but now you're about to lose it. You care about it deeply, more deeply than you could have ever imagined. So it says, for a time you were my dear, but now the beer tastes only bitter. For a time it was like an addiction, but now it's starting to go stale. My heart stained with a belated self-hatred. Hating yourself for letting it become that way, I would assume. It gets emptied even by that wind brushing by. Took it for granted, that's what that is, okay. Goodbye that ended up coming to me is what I deserve at the end of my play acting full of lies. Being in that situation, probably understanding the way things are going. If I were in that situation, you beat yourself up over the fact that you let something so great become so bad or get out of control so much. It's like can't even hate the situation. It's like you put yourself there, right? I feel like that's where their minds are at with this. So if someone turned back time for me, could I maybe have been more honest? Okay, inner monologue. My bare face that I only know, and my ugly and humble old friends within myself. So like the old lifestyle wearing down on you while you're trying to make a new lifestyle for yourself. It's almost like you let the babble and the talk and the haters and the negativity get to him so much that it just tore him apart, right? And it almost ruined a great thing at this point in the song, ruining a great thing. It says, could you have still loved me with the smile you used to make looking at me? It's questioning, and the inner questioning, you know, voice inside your head, wondering, it's like, will it ever be the same, I guess? Because, you know, in the beginning when things are fresh and things are like going so great, you can't even imagine it being any better. And if you're like me, waiting for that shoe to drop, like when things, or if things go bad, you're like, how could it ever be the same as it was before? Because it's now tainted, right? How could it get better? You're questioning yourself. So this is still inner monologue stuff. Okay, let's keep rolling.
소리 좀 그만해 어차피 원래 끝은 있는 거잖아 시작이 있다면 I don't wanna listen to that 너무 많은 소리 혹은 너무 많은 위로 I don't wanna listen to that 그냥 너무 무서웠어 좀 내가 너를 사랑했던 적이 아예 없는 것 같아서 늦었지만 너 지시했다고 너만 나를 사랑했다고 So you're my two 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 What more can I say you're my two
Okay, good spot to stop. Good spot to stop. We know where we're at. That's what I'm trying to keep up with. So he says forever. Stop saying things like forever. It's like you almost can't believe that with the additives that you are dealing with now, that forever is even possible. Gotta be an end anyway, right? There it is right there. If there's a beginning, I don't want to listen to that. Advice, that's too right. Or too many words of comfort. I don't want to listen to that. It's almost like people are trying to help, or it's not the end of the world, but you don't want to hear anything. You just kind of want to look at the negativity. It's almost like you can't stop. You know what I mean? Almost like having hatred or dealing with haters and all these, you're so used to it, like you can't break away from it. You're almost scared to move on to something better. Right? Almost like an abusive relationship in a sense. I was just so scared because it felt like maybe I had never loved you at all. Not for even once. Questioning the relationship and in this case the situation wasn't even real kind of situation. Although it's like you were sincere. Only you loved me. It's like when I see this, I feel like there's a conversation going on between two people. It could, and obviously this is between the group, right? This got to be all their feelings, but like, let's say situationally speaking, we've got two people, and one person needs to tell the other person something that's wearing on them, not because they want to tear them down, or not because they want to, hurt the person, but more so because if it doesn't get said, it's gonna get worse, and if it doesn't get said, nothing gets solved. And you're so fed up with the situation that you need to say the things that you're saying. There's a right and a wrong way to have a conversation. You don't have to be mean. But sometimes saying the things that are so tough and that you're scared to say, they hurt others unintentionally. And it's almost like they're scared to talk about it because they don't want to lose what they have and they're afraid to hurt each other. And go back to maybe go back to the way that they used to be. Because what does it solve? Doesn't it put you back in the same place that you were before all this greatness happened? You don't want to let it go, right? That's what that's from. So, but sometimes it needs to be spoken. Sometimes you need to have that talk. And then it says, you're my tear, you're my tear. And if I were going to say alternating wise, this is tear and crying, and then the next part would be tear and like tearing apart. This is what more can I say? You're my tear.
같은 곳을 향해 걸었었는데 이것이 우리의 마지막이 돼 영원을 말하던 우리였는데 가차없이 서로를 무시해요 같이 꿈을 꿨다 생각했는데 그 꿈은 비로소 꿈이 되어 내 심장이 찢겨져 차라리 불태워줘 고통과 미련 그 무엇도 남지 않게끔
Intensifying, you hear that? It's almost like they're fighting vocally. Ugh, so good. Okay, we used to walk towards the same place, but here becomes our last. We used to talk about forever, and now we mercilessly destroy each other. I thought we dreamed the same dream, but now the dream truly became just a dream. So it's like you were on the same page, but come to find out that you were just kind of like going with the motions. So wouldn't that mean that they're like both scared, or they're all scared in this situation, but because things are working, you deal with it, or you ignore it? It's like those little nuances you have in a relationship where like the little things bug you, but you don't say anything, and then they fester into something completely, utterly huge that makes no sense, and you just explode, right? That's not what should happen. It happens more than it should, but it's not what should happen, right? But now the dream truly becomes just a dream. My heart breaks. Please rather burn it, so that the pain and my lingering love don't remain at all anymore. It's almost like I'm so sick of the situation, I'd rather just burn it and be done with it, right? Just end it. So it gives you kind of state of the mentality of when this song was written. It kind of doesn't help that we read a little bit at the beginning, but we'll still go in depth with the reading after. So, and then the intense, like, increase in volume with the chorus, and not just RM, but RM and J-Hope. It's almost like they're arguing with each other, screaming at each other. Like, everything we just heard is them yelling at each other. Like, imagine them in a room all together. One person's fed up with something, the other person, they're just as fed up and they never said anything. And then someone explodes on one, and then they just start arguing, and they just all get into it, right? That's what I feel when I hear this part. Okay, let's keep going.
Take it easy 천천히 심장을 돌려줘 그래 조각이 나버린 파편 밀어치러 밟아줘 매일은 그딴 게 더는 남지 않게 갈기 찢어 밝혀버린 내 심장을 싹 불태워줘 옳지 그래 거기야 뭘 망설이니 네가 원하던 그 결말이니 망설임 없이 어서 죽여 Yeah, put it Yeah, put it Yeah, put it 타버린 채마저 남지 않게
Okay, we'll stop right there, because I'm kind of already drifting. It says, so we got the chorus and then the cutoff at the end of the chorus. It's almost like when with that little static tear at the end of the chorus, it's almost like it's leaving it on a cliffhanger. Like, cause even they don't know where it's gonna be headed, right? It's almost like somebody walked out of the room during the argument and it's just like, well, what does that even resolve? Now we're just pissed. So, it says goodbye to me is TEAR, right? A thing like tear or tear is a luxury. There's not going to be a thing like a beautiful parting, so please begin now. Ooh, take it easy. Slowly cut out my heart. Huh. There's not going to be a thing like a beautiful parting, so please begin now. It's like, let's just get it over with, right? Take it easy. Slowly cut out my heart. It's like, it's torture to go through, but if this is the way to make it last as long as possible, then do it. It says, yeah, squeeze with your foot on the broken pieces of my heart. It's almost like, even though it's painful and you've already ripped my heart out, now you're stomping on it. But he's making it sound like he enjoys it, because every moment, even if they're fighting, is still one more moment in this place that they feel they've been blessed with but aren't appreciating. So that my lingering feeling, such feeling doesn't remain anymore. So it's like, if you're gonna do it all the way. Burn off my heart that is torn into pieces. Yeah, right, it's there. Why are you hesitating? Ooh, could you imagine being in a room with people who were like, just say it! Just say you want it to end! Like, that's kind of like, ooh, chills, bro, chills. Okay. This is the ending you wanted, so I hope you'll kill me quickly without hesitation. And then we get to the woo, yeah, burn it. And it's just like, imagine Yoongi screaming at the other boys in that situation. Bro, this song is so epic, bro. Okay.
같은 곳을 향해 걸었었는데 이것이 우리의 마지막이 돼 영원을 말하던 우리였는데 가차없이 서로를 부수네 같이 꿈을 꿨다 생각했는데
Chorus hits pretty hard, dude.
심장이 찢겨져 차라리 불태워줘 고통과 미련 그 무엇도 남지 않게끔
They're all in it now. They were all in that version. That's cool. I like that, dude. They wrote this really, really well. Okay. Alright, so back to the part where we're at. It says, so that even the burnt ash doesn't remain. Dude, they're going so in depth with this. Like, how it's kind of like, think about the question, how much more could you hurt me? And then we see like each degradation of like, let's just use atoms or matter, right? They went from the heart being ripped out to stomping on the heart to burning the heart. Now the heart is ashes, and now we're about to get into something that they do with that, right? So this is the real you, and this is real me. It, also with the ash thing, because ash is carbon, and it's the very first element. It's probably I think it might be like, it is the element that, it's the lowest element you can get to, right? If you were going to degrade something on the elemental scale, burning it turns it into its original form, because we're all just carbon-based life forms, right? Think about it. So, and that's what ash is, carbon. Okay, this is the real you, and this is the real me. I've now seen the end, and even my resentment doesn't remain. To the point it's like saying, hey, if we don't do this, we're gonna hate ourselves. We need to get this out. We need to address the situation. If it's over, it's over. We gotta do what we gotta do, but it's not worth being sad over every single day and pretending like we're happy. I woke up from my sweet dreams and closed my eyes. This is the real you, and this is the real me. Say, hey, now that it's out there, we know we used to walk towards the same place, but here comes our last. We used to talk about forever, but now we mercilessly destroy each other. I thought we dreamed the same dream, but now the dream truly becomes just a dream. My heart breaks, please rather burn it, so that the pain of my lingering love doesn't remain at all anymore. And this is insane, dude. Imagine having something come so close. Let's just say that it happened. Like, you did it, you said it, it's over, it's done. You never thought you'd be in this position, but at the same time, you're not really sad because it probably needed to be that way, right? Not saying BTS shouldn't be together, but let's just say that like, the frustration needed to be resolved, right? And it's pretty much up in the air, right? It's up in the air, like it's out there, right? It's floating in the ether. What is your next move? What is your next move?
어떤 말을 해야 할지 우리는 알고 있지 정답은 정해 있는데 늘 대답은 어렵지 왜 흘리는지 왜 찢어버리는지 소용없어 내게 눈 이별은 내게 그 순간의 불 네 입에서 말을 하는 순간 우리의 초점이 무규칙해지는 순간 모든 게 위험한 순간에 두 글자가 준 우리의 끝 아는 끝 찢을 끝 그런 말을 못한다고 앞으로 나도 이별 붙인 뿅 넌 내 시작과 끝에 네 soul 나의 만나고 나의 이별 전부여서 앞으로가 freer 반복될 거야 너로 인해 태어
That's nuts. Okay. Yeah, I kind of got a little sidetracked on there. I was reading, but like, it says, what we should say, we already know. The answer is set, but to answer is always hard. It's like, you know what you need to do, you don't want to have to do it, right? Why do I shed tears? Why do I tear it off? It's no use for me. Right? Goodbye to me is only, they're just at those moments. So the pain, the suffering, the internal agony that you're feeling is only momentary, but you're letting it take control of your life. Am I close with that? Because I feel like I can relate to that. It's just like those little nuances, like I said, wearing away at you. But those nuances aren't every moment. They're only certain moments, right? And that would amplify those moments. At the moment a word comes out of your mouth. Oh, at the moment where our focus becomes irregular. The moment where everything is in danger, our end that those two letters present to us. Two letters are the symbols, which mean parting. So it's almost like giving up. It's almost like giving up, like you're so frustrated and tired and sick of everything that you just would rather quit than deal with it. So it's a sign of maturity. Is this a song that's like how do you say this? It's a song that symbolizes kind of like growth and maturity. and being an adult and dealing with your problems, right? Rather than running away from your problems. Said I should not have shed tears. I should not have torn it off. I can't say things like that. From now on, I'm with incurable disease of parting. You're my beginning and end. That is all. It's like, look, I'm sorry I said it. I should take some accountability for my own actions and the things that I can and can't do. The disease of parting. I love how they wrote that. The incurable disease of parting. You're always going to want to run away from your problems. But if you're alive, you're going to have to deal with those problems, right? You're my beginning and end. And that is all. My meeting and my parting. So they're all the same thing. The two things. You know what I mean? That's the beginning, the end, the alpha, the omega, the meeting and my parting. It's like it was, so like, let's use alpha, the beginning, right? And end being omega. The beginning and the meeting were the good, and the end and the parting were the bad. So that was all. From now on, fear will repeat itself. Symbolizing fear will repeat itself goes hand in hand with the incurable disease of parting. And it's caused by you. So it's like that in and of itself is also a double entendre, because he could be talking to himself, and if he's talking to himself in the inner monologue, then he's referring to himself. But if this were like a physical thing and he was having this discussion with somebody or somebody's, this is everybody else. This is twisted, bro. I don't know what to think about. I love a song. I love the lyrics, but I'm confused by them. Even though I know what this song is generally about, it's still like, emotionally speaking, I'm kind of like in a spot where I don't know what to do. And I don't know if this song is supposed to make you feel that way or if I'm just lost. But either way, it's intense. Definitely intense, dude. I like the way it was written. Let's go ahead and check out, see what the song is. You know, let's check a wiki link, right? And see what the song is actually supposed to be about. Okay, so I'm on Genius lyrics. Genius is my second go-to if I can't find a song on Dulcet. And you guys usually give me pretty good reviews about Genius. So we're gonna read what they have to say about it. It says BTS reveals outro Tear was written while the group was considering a breakup, which if I'm not mistaken, this article was written on May 27th of last year, but y'all recently, like, I say y'all like I'm not part of you, like, didn't Army Link recently find out that that's, like, a confirmation that that's what this song was about, right? It was about their breakup. I love that picture. Looks like Dionysus almost. It says, want to play the song where the members we all cried together. BTS last docuseries Break the Silence features never before seen footage from the group's 2019 World Series Speak Yourself. And see, that's what I was just saying. We all just found out, right? Because it came from that movie. The members also candidly share hidden secrets from making of 2018's Love Yourself Tear. In episode 6, Suga revealed that outro Tear was written when the band was considering a breakup. The lyrics for Tear were written for the members. He explained, when I was writing the melody at the time, we were deeply contemplating whether we should quit or not. When I played the song for the members, we all cried together. Outro Tear is a darker reflection of what it means to love and the significance of goodbyes when loving someone. With the new revelation that the song is actually about the possible disbandment, many of its lyrics can now be interpreted under a different light, such as the opening lines of the second and fifth verses. We walk towards the same place, but this place becomes our last. RM, Suga, and J-Hope repeat these lyrics on the track. Evidently, when BTS first started out, the members all shared a similar dream of being successful. However, with the group's newfound fame and launch into the international market, the shared dream became a topic of conflict rather than one of hope. Following lines address this topic. Although we used to talk about forever, now we break each other without mercy. In 2018, BTS discussing the possible renewal of its contract with the group's label Big Hit. While the members were uncertain about quitting, it is clear that the decision to disband would have been made with great difficulty. Outro Tear reads like a breakup song, and its overall angst reveals how hard each member would have taken to split through lyrics like, although we thought that we dreamed the same dream, that dream has finally become a dream. Ooh, okay. So that different translation kind of made that line pop a little bit more for me. In the episode, RM shares further sentiments on why it's such a daunting decision. He explained how BTS is more than just the group's 7 members. He says, it doesn't belong to anyone. It's like an imaginary momentary rainbow that's been created by ourselves and the people who help us. It's going to disappear someday, so we have to stay humble and reflect on ourselves. I think it's important for us to spend more time reflecting on these things. It's fair. That's a fair assessment, RM. You're always a wise individual. The fact that it saddens me to know that one day this will all be over. All right, for you guys, for a lot of other individuals, myself included. Like, what am I gonna do with my channel, right? Like, like when I hit the end of the road and there's nothing left, you know, you think it'll last forever, but it feels like it'll last forever. But just like all good things, gotta come to an end at some point. But I definitely don't want to think about it at this moment. So, but it is something that has to be faced and realized at some point in time. And BTS has become a perfect example of synergy between artists and fans. Because of its dedicated fan base, BTS can be more than simply a group. Even with the possibility of disbandment, the band revisited the notion of We Are Bulletproof the Eternal from its latest album, Map of the Soul 7, singing, yeah, we are not 7 with you. As Genius contributor Beth, so many ones noted, BTS previously spoke about the group considering a breakup during its acceptance speech for Artist of the Year at the 2018 MMA Awards. We just saw that, right? And you can catch up on all the lyrics to BTS Outro Tear and its English translation on Genius. Sorry I didn't use yours. I prefer dual set. No offense. I love you guys, but I do come to you when I can't use dual set, so I apologize for that. But I appreciate the explanation. Thank you so much for your well-detailed article. That was very, very helpful. I hope everybody learned something, because I just learned something. So, all right. So next up is the live performance, you guys. This is specifically picked by Taylor, okay? So please don't hate me for not watching the right episode or right version. This is the one Taylor wanted me to see. Said there's a reason to it. I'm gonna go ahead and do my best to pay as much attention to everything that I can. So hope you enjoy. I'm ready to relax, ready to have a good time. Let's see what happens at this concert. Very dark. The intro's so eerie, dude. I love the light show. I'm not surprised though, they always put on great light shows. Stop. There's gotta be a 1080p, right? No, it's all 720. Okay, well, we'll go with what we got. This song means something to them. You can see it in his energy. So fast, bro. Oh my god. He's already done with his verse. That's how fast he went. Calm down, RM. Alright? Slate. Keep your voice down. Oh, we get to hear it without the auto-tune now. I just see all three of them arguing when I hear this. Ooh, I like the camera work. That was a nice switch. The energy is like, it's captivating. You're almost spellbound, floating with them, you know? Ooh. I don't think I've ever heard him yell that loud. I didn't know you could even do that. Early in the concert, not a lot of people standing up. Maybe it's a location. Absolutely think they did the chorus is like absolutely perfect. The way that they transition between each one singing. Was that in the original? That's crazy. I'll talk about it in a sec. Get him, J-Ho. Okay, so I have a question. Was this part with the demonic voice at the end of it? Was that like in the original song? I don't know. You guys can answer. I'll listen after the fact, but I'm not going to include it in this reaction. Y'all can help me out, kind of interact with me a little bit in the comments, because like think about that. If that little demon voice was there, right? If it was there and I just missed it, but like. That little additive throws so much into it, like, it's almost like the thing you love the most is evil. What? Okay, whatever, I'm looking too hard into it. Theory Brad's coming out. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. I want to see if I can find it again, though. Let's listen. Let's give it another listen. I'm just waiting for the one part. What was the lyric? Okay, so he says, so the part that it happens is there's no use to me parting is to me only that moment. So the worst part about it, the most evil part about it, is that it's momentary. And then they amplify that with a demonic voice. I love that. That's awesome. It's good production. and we're gonna listen to it out just because this is such a good song, dude. I love it. That's awesome. That's so cool. I love that little bitty added twist that we got to hear. Let me just make it bigger. So excellent listen. It's a little different than what I'm used to. You know, it kind of took the fun out of it to know the context beforehand. One of the things I love the most about doing reactions and doing it in this manner is because at the end of it all, you guys get to interact a little bit and tell me the things that I missed, and you'll still have that option. But like reading the stories that you guys give me and telling me what it's actually about, you each have little tidbits that you add and they all make one huge story, and I get to find out that way. So it helps me interact with you, helps you interact with me. We kind of form a bond in that manner, and I learn the same thing I learned in an instant, but in a more relaxed, social, and family oriented kind of way. Like it's like you guys are my teachers, right? And I appreciate that, because as a younger army, I like knowing that the professionals can show me the way, right? So that's all there is to it. It's a great song, a lot of twists and turns in terms of sound, right? You've got all these different aspects contributing to one song, and they turn into, like, you've got one song here, you've got one song here. Each thing could be its own jam, right? But they're all combined to make one, like, super song, in a sense. And I love the lyrics in the fact that, visually speaking, as I was reading, I just saw, like, this CW drama unfolding in front of my eyes, right, mentally. And you can understand the depth of the song, and the tones don't even have to be there. But with the added effect of the live and RM like screaming his lungs out at the parts where he got to do his, you know, the chorus, and then to have the added effect that they were all, it like escalated into one person, then to two person, then to three persons, and it makes you think that the effects of one person's problems affect the rest of the group in a different way for each individual person. But when one person's problems affect another person, then that means it's like a trickle down effect. It's like it will continue to that shockwave factor, right? And pretty soon everyone's got problems, and you don't want that. I love the demon aspect at the end. I think it was, I don't know if it was in the original song, but if it wasn't, it should be, because that added some extra oomph. I needed to hear that, and I hope that's in the original. I will check out after I get off of here, but like I hope that's in the original. Overall, excellent song. I understand now why you guys love it so much. You were right, Taylor. It was necessary to watch the awards show to fully understand it. I think I could have watched it at the end though, and probably would have had a little bit of extra oomph to it, right? But either way, I got the message and I got it. You almost got me. You almost made me cry. Right? I wasn't expecting it to be that big of a deal. So, thank you, and you're evil for that. Okay, but I love you. I love you. Guys, it's gonna wrap it up for Request Monday. I hope you enjoyed everything. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, drop me some comments, click all the buttons, follow all the links. You guys know the drill. And I will check you guys in the next one. I'm getting out of here. It is late, and I'm kind of worn out now. So mentally, I'm fried. But y'all stay safe, stay healthy. I'll check you guys later.